Hello everyone! In this video I'm going to show you what can we do with integer type variables using arithmetic operators. Right now you're probably not sure why exactly should there be different variable types, but hopefully after this video some of such doubts will be clarified. As you can see, we first declare a variable and provide it with a value. So here we declare variable and provide it with a value. And now we can use the value stored inside the variable to set values to other variables. So this is what happens over here. So this is the variable we're using the value stored inside the variable, and here we're setting this value to a new variable. This happens since Java sees a variable mostly just as a value of certain type. The first line shows the way we see the code, and the second line the way Java sees it. It basically substitutes variable names with values where required. Like over here, there was mynum at first, and then the computer sees a 4 over there since it's already defined. We can also add values when we change variable values. The code above adds 10 to the variable mynum and stores the result in mynum2. So over here, first we define mynum, then we take mynum and add a 10 to it and store it inside another variable, which is mynum2. Same thing. The first line shows how we see the code, and the second one how Java sees it. So as you can see, it just substitutes the variables on the right with the actual values in order to provide a value to the variable on the left of the equal to operator, of the assignment operator. We can also create an expression that consists solely of variables. Like over here, we multiply mynum by mynum2. And the result is stored in the variable result. So the first line is how we see this line of code, and the second line is how the computer sees these lines of code. Since for it mynum and mynum2 are both just values, it just takes and multiplies them and stores the result in the variable result. There's one last thing I would like to explain today, and that is changing value of a variable by means of adding, subtracting, dividing, or basically performing any operations on itself. For this, you need to understand that everything on the right of the equal sign is evaluated, and only then it is set to the variable on the left. So basically, first, everything on the right, it gets to one value, and then it's passed on to the left, where it is stored in this variable over here. This may look a bit confusing at first, but what second line of code is doing, it's basically taking the variable, dividing it by 10, and storing it back to the same variable. Therefore, in the end, my variable contains the value of 1. So over here, as you can see, this is how we see the code: mynum equal to mynum divided by 10. And what Java does, as I told you previously, it just substitutes. It does not really substitute, it's just how it sees the value. In order for us to understand how computer sees it, we need to substitute the values. But what Java does, it just sees this mynum, the same it just sees a 10s. So over here, it takes mynum, which is 10, divides it by 10, and then saves the result into mynum. So after this operations, mynum will be equal to 1, since 10 by 10 equal to 1. Thank you for watching yet another episode of Java Basics. Hope you liked it up until now. In the next episode, we will talk about something we can do with string variables. So stay tuned.